Down to 7 Pacific.
What you out there? Yes, clear. Loud and clear.
Friendly fire!
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So every year the Sklar brothers do like an event. Last year they did like a golf thing, which I was like really looking forward to this year. This year they did chicken shit bingo, which is a bingo board. They put a chicken inside of it, and whatever it shits on, if you have that number, you won like a Moon Tower like tote bag.
Wow.
How much is this chicken pooping?
So at first it shit pretty quick and it was exciting and whatever. The second chicken they put in there refused to shit.
Yeah,
So
can't
it was
operate
like-
under pressure.
It was like for real, like 25 minutes of the Sklar brothers just like riffing about the chicken while slowly everybody left the room.
Hey, but look, the thing is, I love an ambitious idea. Like, I just like that. I love the fact that they was like, how did they came? They couldn't have came up with that. Did they come up with
No.
that?
Chicken shit bingo. I think in Texas or places similar, like the South, is like a pretty common thing. They do it like some sort of like roadhouse bar or some shit like. The lady who they brought in to do it, like, owns the chickens, like does this.
Oh, this is her thing.
This is her bit. This is her
That's
life.
her side hustle.
I think it's her main hustle. I think it's her lifeblood is these chickens.
Getting the chicken to poop on the board.
Yep.
Bro, that's
Exactly.
what I'm saying, bro. Like, I do think in America, we do live in abundance, bro.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
that's somebody's job.
Yeah.
That's all disposable income.
Yeah.
Nobody eating the chicken.
No, I don't think so. No, because she said her oldest chicken lived to be 14, which means that she kept him her whole life.
Yeah.
That feels too old for a chicken.
It feels, I didn't know how long. You could have told me chickens live to be like 100, like they're tortoises,
Is
and
she
I wouldn't
vegan?
have argued. That's a good question. She doesn't look vegan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One of the things they gave away for the person who won was a $20 gift card to Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
That felt
Yeah.
wrong.
That's messed up.
That felt wrong.
In Atlanta, when they first opened the Georgia Aquarium, it used to be the biggest aquarium in the world until I think some folks over there in China got active with the capture. They start putting that water in that in the facilities. But before they started doing it, it was some cats in Georgia. I've said this on some podcast, but when they first opened, they had a fish sandwich
in the
at the aquarium in the cafe.
That's
People got mad.
Of
People
course.
was mad.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
They was mad at the fish sandwich, bro.
That
They
would
didn't
be-
want people to.
That would be crazy.
I've said this before, but I just feel like if you go do that, let me pick what fish, bro.
Yeah,
It's
It's like the lobster tank at the front of a nice
Dude,
restaurant.
when they used to do that, I remember that. That used to be a thing
Let's
in
go
Walmart.
exotic. No, in Walmart
Yeah.
and in
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
Yeah.
I forgot about that at Walmart.
You
They
could
would
just
have
go-
the tanks. They were
They
like,
would.
yeah. Now you can only find that in like an Asian supermarket.
Walmart
Yeah.
used to be crazy. They used to sell lobsters and AK-47s.
Yeah.
And it was truly the mecca of America.
Sometimes I'm like not all for America. Sometimes I get very Antifa Matt. That's what he calls me because whatever. But then sometimes like that makes me love America.
I was about to say, how much you think the dude who put the rubber bands on the claws made? Do you think the rubber band claw man made more than chicken bingo shop?
Oh, 100%.
Working for Walmart, that big of a corporation, I would think so. Yeah.
And that's all they do. They say, because I feel like they catch them and they.
Oh, yeah,
they're going
yeah.
They like call Dennis.
Yeah.
He know how to just straight.
Rubber band man.
Yeah. You're a 9 on my
He's
right.
the-
45
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, he's the rubber band
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, bro.
Walmart is really the center of America.
Well, I used to try to do it. I mean, I always think there's such a difference between like how you refer to Walmart is dictated on like where you live in the country. If
Yeah.
you're saying like Walmart, it's like you're like in a city. If you go the Walmart, you're like in the sticks.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Walmart. The Walmart is where you go like prom dress shopping.
Absolutely.
Walmart is where you go if you need to get chips.
You bought an engagement ring at the Walmart.
You go to
I went to the Walmart.
I went to the Walmart. I got me a new jacket. I got me, I got me a hammer.
Precisely.
And then you go to Walmart. If I go to Walmart, I'm like getting like printer paper.
Just
Cornerstone of the community.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
But the Walmart, it's like that's a big night out.
That is a big
We're gonna
night.
stop after and get Buffalo Wild Wings on the way back after the Walmart.
Tweety Bird pajamas.
Yeah, I gotta get the monster flat brim hats.
The monster flat brim hats.
You know, it is interesting, right? Because I do think that I always wanted to understand. Because where are you from?
Iowa.
Okay. I've been there. I've spent a lot of time in Iowa.
Yeah, where at?
You about that corn.
Yeah, a little bit.
Corn lifestyle.
So you heard about me.
Ethanol vibe.
Yeah.
You got an ethanol vibe.
Yeah. Some people keep saying, yeah.
Ethanol vibe. Wind turbine. Fiesta. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I've been all I used to do colleges, and then you know what I'm saying, when I did like colleges, and they would be like, oh, like we should give a black person a bunch of money to come here because there's no other way that one will come. You know? And I took that deal maybe 12 times.
Yeah, that's a very
Yeah.
accurate representation of what
Like
Iowa really
They're
is.
not bad people like
No.
that. I've been to places with bad people.
Yeah.
They are cool people. They just, socially inept.
Yeah.
And they love corn.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to Des Moines. They got a barbecue spot called Jethro.
Yes. Yep.
You from Des Moines?
I lived in Des Moines for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
Shout out to Dante Powell.
Dude, he's so funny.
Oh, you start standing by that?
Yeah.
You know Darius?
Yes. Yeah.
I know their whole crew.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah. Those guys are great.
Big fan of that.
100%.
My boy Matthew Jacobson.
Yes. Yeah. Over at the he like runs the Funny Bone or something out there. in
I
Des
didn't
Moines.
know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like really involved in the Funny Bone out there.
I'm plugged in the Iowa.
Yeah. Well, you
I
guys.
was talking to you before. You're like, I've spent my whole life in Atlanta. I had no idea you knew so much about Iowa culture, man.
Let me tell you
It's
this.
cool.
But you didn't check in though.
I'm sorry, bro.
No. Wait 1 second. No, this is actually starting to piss me off a little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
No, you can't come in here talking about Iowa and you didn't even check it.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
This is-
You run the street. I can tell you run the street.
That's.
I can tell.
I'll bite a motherfucker. That's what I always say.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Listen, the way the sleeves fitting on this arm, I know you done shook some corn in your life.
I
You done
detasseled.
gra-
That's
you
what we
done-
call it. I'm detasseling. I
You
used
done
to.
grabbed-
I detasseled in the summer.
You done
That's that
grabbed
forearm.
something. Yeah. Relieve them.
Yeah,
Relieve
yeah,
them
yeah.
of they nurturing.
Yeah.
God,
So
dude.
funny.
We
That's
was
right.
down in I liked Iowa though, cause my favorite thing is Dubuque, cause Dubuque is funny, bro. Dubuque set up like a city that's a port city, but it's not.
It's landlocked.
It's completely
landlocked,
it's in
but
the middle of the country.
but they build it like it's like on
Yes.
a river, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't it on a river?
Yeah, it is. They also have like I don't even know if it's open anymore. I used to go up there to the comedy bar. They had
Yeah,
like
they
they had
closed
There's a
that.
comedy bar up there.
Oh man, it was awful.
Everybody said that.
It was
Yeah.
so bad.
Cause I never been to T's. My day was
Yeah.
before T's. I know you had the T's, you had the Funny Bone. Y'all had that place with that pizza up there in
I think that is Comedy Bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nah, it was a
they're-
different place.
Pizza. There's Penguins Comedy Club.
Penguin.
Yeah. That was where I first started. That was so like, I used to drive. That was back when I was in college. I used to drive like 3 hours round trip to go perform for like 3 people in this basement in Penguins.
At Penguins.
Bae, and I'm not trying to brag, but one time I got open for a person who I don't even remember his name anymore, and it was like a big. Everybody's like, Josh made it.
Wow. Josh
He's doing,
is,
He's doing the 9:30 at Penguins on a Friday.
Josh is hosting
Bro.
for George McCarthy. This is outstanding.
But
This is incredible.
Yeah.
y'all don't miss them days though.
Of course.
Of course. Oh, of
when
course.
you just a scene member, bro,
Yeah.
and then mid-level headliner that only you and other comedians know,
Yeah.
come to town and you get that host spot and you rip, and the whole scene is like, bro, you went crazy.
And then you
Like,
listen back
you
to like,
up outta
and you're like,
here.
oh fuck, it's so
Yeah,
bad.
dude.
The old stuff is so bad.
I remember doing a weekend with Dom Herrera.
Okay.
And so because he's like such like a OG, I mean, he has like Parkinson's, so he is almost incoherent on stage. So he had me host do 10, feature do 20, and then I did another 10 in between the feature and him. And I would cook that 10 minutes because
Yeah.
it's like the crowd's warmed up. They already like me. The feature was doing good. And I was doing these great jokes I would never do about like fingering my cum out of a girl and flicking it on her face. But I was mauling, and because he was such like a OG, a bunch of other comics were there because they were like, we want to see Dom Herrera.
Yeah.
And I do remember very specifically after one of the shows, like my boys, it's like Mark Christopher and like Steve Lamb. It's like these like old guys who are comics coming up and being like, you really put on a great show out there, man. You really did that thing. And
That
I was
done
like,
millions
yes.
of world, bro.
Yeah.
During that time, because now, bro, people, you get so jaded, and you see people now who get things that you would have dreamed of getting, and they still like, man, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%.
And so it's like I feel like so much of those moments I be trying to capture again.
Yeah.
Just that gratitude just to be here.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we remind ourselves all the time because he lived in Florida with me before this.
Really?
Yeah.
And like sometimes there would be multiple weeks in a row where the best spot we got to do was our 5-minute set at the open mic at Brews Room, which is a wings and sports bar place. And so like we get so like now we'll do like a couple spots a week, and like a couple of them will be not great, which means like 15 people who are in a comedy club, but they just weren't like awesome. And we have to remember like how much I appreciated having a good set at a wing place. In a like the stage was a booth that they took the table out of. That kind of stuff.
Back room.
But dude, some of those were the days.
Bro, because here's the thing now. You realize when you get older, how old are you?
I'm 30. Just turned 30.
I can tell how old are you.
31.
I can always tell people age.
You didn't. Wait. You didn't say it beforehand.
No,
He was
I was
just like-
saying I guessed it.
Yeah, but he knew it.
In your head. Okay.
In his head.
Very funny.
I looked
clocked
at
it.
I told you, how old are you?
How you think I am?
No, I'm saying, how old are you? I'm just curious.
39.
Yeah. 39.
You just
30,
wait.
31.
You just wait for the response and then go, I knew it.
I was right on the dot with it, right? Right on the dot with it. But
That's so funny.
I was right on the dot. I would say, but no, I feel like we forget that brain is what got us to these points.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
So then when you lose that, that's when you start to go down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be happy.
Keep that value.
Grateful.
You gotta keep that value of just doing it.
Yeah.
Because that's what got all the things the way you at now. But I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in the business stuff, and I'm not saying that that's bad. Like eventually, if you want to make money, you got to get involved with the commerce.
Yeah.
But I think that losing that, just like I'm just happy to be here, is how you lose the funny.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that at all.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you go through the motions, you start. It's not the same as like when you're performing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's a difference between like going through the motions and being like, I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
And then late, dude. I keep having fucking cry. I was telling him last night. I keep having like that. We talked about the comedy Tourette's of like, don't say that joke. And I've ended the last week and a half of the same joke every set, and I'll be having a good set, and then I go, I've been trying to get my girl to eat my ass, and it's like the craziest
you're
bit,
not
and I know
supposed to do it.
I literally went, don't ever say that joke again. And it keeps coming out and out and out and out.
Yeah.
That's the brain he's talking about.
It's driving me nuts.
It
Bro.
needs you to work out that ass eating bit.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I done hit this thing now where I start doing this thing where I can't help it, bro. But if I just start doing stuff that's self-sabotaging,
Yes.
I know it is, and I don't know how to control it. I had a show yesterday, and it was all the interesting people in there, and I didn't feel like my set was going well, so I ended my set by saying, I will never make it in stand-up comedy. And I just sat there in the silence, the crowd, it was really awkward. The crowd was like really quiet and uncomfortable. And I held the mic for like 5 seconds, and I just put it in and left. A big thing was you thinking that you gonna do some festival or get some little showcase or something, and then a person was gonna walk up with a monocle and be like, do you want $1 million? That was the thing that every
You got
person,
something
every
special,
local scene
kid.
think
Yeah.
that that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then what keeps you in that is how they keep people in the gambling. Every now and then, it's one person that happened to in your region, not even in your city.
Just in the
Just
general area.
in the general area, you met a couple times.
Yep.
He went to JFL and started writing on some late night show. You
Yeah.
like, that's gonna be me. But it only happened to 100 people, right?
We
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
Marcelo Hernandez used to be in the
Yes.
scene that we were in, and
Yes.
he's one of the most famous comics or comedians in general right now. Yeah,
Absolutely, it
same
happens.
thing.
Whispers about him all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen him many times. He was just a guy at the open mic with
Absolutely.
us. And
Next
now
thing you know, he's on SNL.
He's for real. He went to
Yes.
JFL. He went to New York, and now he's a superstar.
Ours, we
Now he's hanging out with Bad Bunny.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
It's very negative. And I don't mean it to be that negative. I think that everybody's doing a great job.
Yeah.
And
I think you're doing a great job.
I think you're
you're
crushing.
funny.
This is great.
And I want us to extend this podcast long enough for me to ask that to be cut out. So how long was it? That was about 5 minutes. Don't worry, we're gonna do 5 extra minutes so we can replace that portion because I do not want to ruin my career.
No, you were being honest.
I remember there was this girl. She's still there in our scene, Jackie
Oh,
Sanchez,
yeah.
who's really funny. She had a thing where some sort of talent agent or somebody was interested in her that lived in New York but was in Florida, and it was like all the murmurs. And I heard that he was going to be at Dada open mic, which was an open mic in a restaurant that there would be 0 people at. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I gotta go. I couldn't.
I
was like,
career
I
opportunity.
have to be there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best 5, like all that. And then he wasn't even there, and she's not even represented. But it was like that moment where I was like, the man with the monocle will be there.
Yeah,
He'll be
absolutely.
You got something special, kid.
Absolutely.
You know, that kind of guy.
And I think it does happen for some people. Don't get me wrong. And I want to keep reiterate. I think that these people care very much about their job.
Yeah.
Like, for example, JFL cat, what's Scandal? That cat,
Yeah.
he go everywhere.
Yeah.
A bunch of the you know, saying the JFL and Netflix people, they go everywhere and search for the comedians.
Yeah.
Or like the festivals and stuff. But if I'm the casting director
Yeah.
for the new hit show on HBO, I'm not doing a world search.
Yeah.
No.
Who would do that?
I'm not going to South Florida to look for. Yeah.
Why would I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That-
Well, that's
that
why
don't
we
benefit
all.
me.
That's why we all end up in the same.
Yeah, that's why you
2
go
or
to a
3
big
That's what I'm
place.
saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. You got to go to where they live at.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you got to go to Moon Tower, I guess. I don't know.
Go to Moon Tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. That's
But
really
no,
it.
it's-
Go play some chicken shit bingo.
It's
Yeah.
cool, bro. I like it, bro. I like doing the festivals now. It's weird. It's weird doing them now because I feel like I've been doing them for a while. And you just start doing the bigger ones, bro. You like, dang, bro. Cats is humorous for real. Hey, one thing I learned, bro. Cats be working hard. I said, ooh, y'all trying to make it for real. Y'all boys funny.
Do you ever think about bringing the tracksuit back? You told me that. I think that's a good move.
Man, I'm really on the right now. I'm really on the Hawaiian shirts, even though I ain't got one on right now.
Yeah.
But I like the Hawaiian shirts, man. Shout out to God.
Yeah.
I do. I rock with your look though, bro.
Thanks,
Because you
man.
got what we would call an Eddie monster, right? Your widow's peak. But as I have one too. Now I have one too. I'm not being disrespectful.
No, it's okay.
But I feel like in my life, bro, this was a point of embarrassment, right?
Well,
but you get to go straight V with it.
I this is a new thing. I shaved my head recently.
Yeah.
For the last 20 years of my life, I had that hurts me right there.
You don't have to pull it up.
I wasn't trying to get that.
that hurt. But I didn't realize when I always knew I had a widow's peak. My mom has one. My granddad has, like, it's in that side of the family. We all have one. But when I shaved my head, I was like, damn.
It's prominent.
I really didn't realize how prominent it was. But now I shave my head. I got a fade.
I like the fade
whole
with the
thing.
ball. I like the fade with the like one guard on top.
Thanks,
It's
bro.
good.
You have a different personality than you look. I'm pretty sure you get that a lot.
I think that's a good thing, though,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
All right, good.
I definitely thought you was gonna have a 10 hut in you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well,
It's like almost the complete opposite
Before-
too.
yeah,
Dad
I
was
know.
real hard on you type. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
honestly, no. Yeah, I before when I had my haircut before, everybody was like, "You look like you're in the military," and now I got my haircut, and everybody goes, "You look like a cop," and I go, "It might just be that I'm a white guy."
You're a white guy that's groomed. That's all that
Yeah.
means.
I think it's the just mustache too.
The mustache also,
Yeah.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad look. I'm just saying, like, I thought it would have been like hashtag family values.
God first, family second kind of stuff.
God Country Core.
Yeah. God, what is it?
God Country Core.
Well, it's funny because he actually was in the military. So
You was in the military?
Yeah.
I
So-
can tell by them corn biceps.
Yeah, the corn biceps.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And the military green shirt as
What
well.
military was you in? What?
The Marines.
Oh, you was with them guys. Dang, man, you suffered.
Yeah.
You
That's
suck.
so
Man,
funny.
that's awesome, bro. How long was you in there?
4 years.
Man, you did that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, man. Y'all be handling them guns.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Y'all let them shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Not
can-
so much when I was in.
Yeah.
I didn't do any. I did it. I was in from 2013 to 17, so there was nothing going on. I just
Yeah.
jacked off in tanks a lot.
Really?
That's all. That's where the tax dollars are going.
I got a question, man. Do you feel like as a dude who's a Marine, do you feel like I feel like every dude I have met from the military, they super disciplined, and I am jealous of that. Like people make fun of military people all the time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like that whatever you learned in there in your brain, you learn to like, you know what I'm saying, push your emotions down to be productive. And I wish I could do that.
I think that you know what? That's a good question. I don't know if I agree with that on the other knowing everybody that I know from it.
Really?
Like it's almost like you're putting on a mask when you're there. You know what I mean? It's like
Gotcha.
you're just doing what you have to do when you're there, and then a lot of people forget it when they get
like
out.
you're not you're not like waking up at 6 a.m. and making your bed.
No,
Shit.
I'm not. No, it's
Yeah.
actually almost the exact opposite. It's almost
Yeah.
like you did it for so long, you earned your dues. Now you don't have to do that bullshit anymore.
Wow.
That's how I felt. Like there was
Yeah.
a while when I was like not institutionalized. That's not the right word. But when I was in college and shit, it was like I was waking up at 5 a.m. still working out, doing all my
Yeah.
chores before I left the house. But then by my junior year, I was like, what am I fucking doing? This is
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
I'm
it was
doing
like
this still.
like I went to rehab, which is basically serving. And,
Yeah.
And
You were
same
serving
thing.
a different. You were serving packs. But beforehand. but-
And we had to wake up early and make our beds. And I remember like for a couple months after I got out, I was making my bed. I was like, this feels good. I'm doing so. I wake up at 11 now. Never
Yeah.
make my bed. Never do any of that. But I don't do heroin anymore. So that's
That's good, bro.
it's all. Yeah, it is
But I
pretty
mean,
good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It seemed like you got the main goal down.
Yeah.
I think-
who cares about making the bed?
exactly.
I think the bed.
You're making the bed.
waking
You're not
up-
making your mom cry. You know, it's one of those
Yeah.
things. It's,
I think
Yeah.
the waking up at 11 is okay considering what you went there for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dude,
Exactly.
I forgot to bring this up earlier. We went to the Ren Fair down in Sherwood Forest.
You and Ariel did?
Yeah, we did the Ren Fair last weekend. There was a lady there that clearly had cerebral palsy. That instead of having her in a wheelchair, they put her in a wheelbarrow.
Wow.
And I was
They
like,
were
this is fucking
really,
dark.
really
That's
committed though to
so committed.
because I would love to see you at a Ren Fest. dude.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just can't do that accent.
yeah. So I've seen the clip of you talking about your last IHOP experience here, where they
Yeah.
brought you spaghetti.
Yeah.
I won't make you retell the story, but it is fun.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
the chef sent out a special
Yeah.
couple bowls.
I
of,
can sum it up.
But sum it
Yeah.
up, and then because I know you went again last night.
Yeah. All right. So I had talked last time I was here. Hey, you know something crazy, bro? I was here with Zach Fox.
Yeah.
And we did Danny Brown podcast. And the night before, bro, we went to the IHOP that's downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And while we eating the food, we about to leave. And then the lady is just like, hey, the chef made some spaghetti. Do y'all want to try it? And I'm like, that's crazy because that's not on the menu here. That's essentially what happened. So me and her had it back and forth. So I go back to this IHOP to see the spaghetti man was there. I went last night. Spaghetti man, I said, is a dude who makes spaghetti there? And she's like, what? And I said, never mind. And then we proceed to have the craziest IHOP experience. I ordered a watermelon blast. And that is a regular lemonade that they put a watermelon popsicle in. But that's what it is.
Uh-huh.
Like, she went to the lemonade thing, and then she opened up a popsicle out of the pack in the freezer and said,
Yeah.
and then that's what training told her to do.
Yeah.
And then she put it down. And then I asked for a berry salad, but they was out of berries. So she said I could do a salad with lettuce, tomato, avocado and onion. And I'm like, I don't like onion. And then she's like, well, instead of onion, you could get cheese. Which is weird because I'm like, hey, bro, like, what's the exchange rate from cheese to onion?
Yeah.
I feel like she freestyled that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I don't want no cheese either. So she's like, fine, well, we just gonna go avocado, tomato, and lettuce with it. And I was like, and I ain't gonna lie, they gave me a heap of lettuce.
Yeah.
It was a bowl full. But they gave me 4 ranches.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
4
Texas, brother.
4 big old things. I said, man, this soup.
Yeah.
At that point, she want to let it swim. Man,
It's
and
a Texas soup right there.
Yeah, and
Right.
I kept doing this weird riff that she found annoying where I kept being like, all the tables in the IHOP is rough, bro. That IHOP got to have like a health score like 55.
Yeah, it's not good.
I kept being like, yeah, man, I got a cousin who will come repaint all these tables for a cheap price, man. Y'all get the manager. Tell the manager I got my cousin back here. He'll do buy for two for one. She's like, I don't think the buying man, like she like earnestly answering.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, all he do is IHOPs. he do IHOPs because got repainting the table. So let him know that I can. And then she just wanted me to stop. Like,
Yeah.
She didn't find it funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the people working IHOP at that hour near downtown Austin has got to be pretty.
Can I have a berry berry salad? They go, no, we have cheese though. It's so funny.
It is.
It's not even because it's like 3 steps away.
I will say this, not to take
We have avocado.
not to take blame from the IHOP, because I do think IHOP is like they deserve all the blame they get. You ordering a salad at an IHOP is something that I find interesting is probably the only word I could use. I don't want to be rude.
Like the salad?
Just wanting. Did you order the berry salad as like in the same way you ordered the watermelon bomb pot? Like it was kind of like a bit to see what came out.
Okay, let me be all the way honest. I'm trying to turn my life around, bro. So I'm like, okay, bro, I'm gonna have some pancakes, but at least let's get some vegetation in there too, just on some balance and on some yin and yang.
Yeah.
Keeping the world in balance. Read Tao Te Ching. Read the Tao by Liao TZU. Read the Tao. He talk about balance. It's an ancient book from Chinese about peace, man.
I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, I was trying to keep balance. So I saw berry salad. So I said, okay, I'll have a little waffles, but then I'll have some veggies.
Yeah.
But half the ingredients of the berry salad, and I kept being like, hey, I don't see the salad on the menu. I saw it on the website. And she kept being like, well, it's the late night menu. And I'm like, what's the difference between the late night menu and the day menu? And she's like, no salads.
Sounds like she's made that up right
She
there.
definitely made that
bro,
up.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's her working and it's 6 tables. So I get her being like, hey, bro, sausage, egg, pancake.
Yeah.
I was being obnoxious, bro. Like, I want to put that out there. Like, she was trying her best, and I think lying to me was her best option.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she
And then-
want me to stop talking to her.
And then she thought, like, if I say we don't have berries, surely this guy's going to give up on the salad. I don't think she probably didn't look at you and go, he's really committed to a salad.
Absolutely.
You
And
know?
then what was funny, like, the kitchen, we sitting right here. So then, like, clearly, when she go back and discuss the salad thing, she like, no onions. Clearly, the chef was like, nah, if I make a salad, that's how I imagine. Like he was mad about it.
Yeah.
What do you mean, no onions in my kitchen? If I got a salad, it's gotta have onions on it. She's like, no, Darius, please. Like, I'm sick of it.
That's so good.
Are you a big IHOP fan in general?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm from Atlanta, so I'm a Waffle House.
Yeah, Waffle
Yeah.
House is.
I'm a Waffle
yeah.
House.
Waffle House is the way to go. IHOP, I don't understand anybody who prefers IHOP over Waffle House.
Yeah.
Waffle House has become like a meme in the last couple years of like the violent staff who doesn't care, and I don't like it because I grew up in Oklahoma. We got a lot of Waffle Houses, and it was just a very normal place to go.
Yeah.
Yes, the staff was mean, and that's just
But
kind
it's
of
good
how it
food.
was. But now I feel like they know they can be mean.
Yep.
So now I feel like they're almost doing like, there are some restaurants where the staff is purposely mean to you.
Yeah.
That's like, I forget what it's
Like
called.
Dick's?
Dick's, yeah.
Yeah.
A Waffle House is becoming that where we're having like people are like, well, we have to fight we have to have a fist fight once a shift.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like the Waffle House people really suffer from it being a rough environment.
Yeah.
Like people coming in there drunk and acting up, and so they have to protect themselves.
Yes.
You from Oklahoma? I thought you from Florida.
I went to Florida for rehab.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I lived there. That's where I started comedy. But I grew up in Oklahoma.
Okay, what city?
Oklahoma City.
Okay, I was just there.
Oh, yeah?
Let me tell you something. It makes sense, bro. One thing about the Oklahoma people, they above 6 feet. they got some big uns out there.
They got some tall people, yeah.
Y'all
yeah.
cats is big out there. I don't know if it's just on some rodeo type stuff, on some.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be.
I'm gonna tell you this. Down in OKC, y'all been down to Toby Keith's?
Yeah.
I don't know a Toby Keith song, but that boy got some queso dip on him. Get down there to that Toby Keith, man. Y'all been in there?
Yeah, the one in Bricktown. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, it's some cheese dip up in that building.
Yeah. R.I.P. Toby Keith. Toby Keith, I
That
believe.
cat dead?
I think Toby Keith died.
Yeah, he did.
Recently.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
The flags are half staff here.
Yeah,
So it's pretty bad.
Man, I hope that guy was able to dip his chip in there a couple times.
I'm sure he was. I think he died of like a heart attack, so he might have.
He dipped it.
He
Yeah.
might have been dipping too much. It might have also been cancer.
Man, that's tough to hear, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't never heard Toby Keith's song. I'm in this restaurant with a big
Stomach
old
cancer.
stage on it. Ah, that's bad.
That's like the worst one to
That's
get.
actually-
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
bad one. Yeah, I feel
I'm sorry
bad.
to hear that.
But
Yeah, that's actually
it's
bad.
okay.
But I will say, I went in that restaurant, big old stage, big old projector, big old. Baby, turn the lights down low.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's him or not.
There's no way you haven't heard a Toby Keith song.
Okay.
It's just one of
I
those.
probably heard it,
He's
yeah.
just one of
does he
those.
sing, I'm proud to be an American?
I think so. Yeah. He
Or at least
also.
I know I'm free.
I forget what it is. He's got a song about a tractor that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
It's I'll put my boot in your ass is his big one.
I haven't heard that one.
Really?
Yeah, it's
That's
the
some,
9/11 song.
Oh, I seen this dude before.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who Toby Keith is. Yeah.
He's an Oklahoma hero, dude. He's got the restaurant. He grew up in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He's always at the football games and stuff
He
like
got some
that.
dip. Yeah, he got some queso dip.
I'll put a boot. Courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
this is the
yeah.
song where he made it after 9/11, right? Talk about capitalism at its finest, dude. Just really monetizing 9/11. I love that.
Yeah, okay, I'm rocking with bro. I'm rocking
Yeah.
with
We rock with Toby Keith for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm rocking with- I'm
we
rocking
got
with.
Garth Brooks is from Oklahoma too.
Yeah, I know Garth from
Yeah,
over there.
yeah,
Garth.
yeah.
Shout out
We
to
know
him.
Garth, yeah.
Hey, a cat get named Garth.
yeah. That's
He done
He's set up to fail.
He done had some trials and
Yeah.
tribulations. The baby pop out and you Garth it? Garth and a baby is nuts. Whatever you done been through, he deserves.
That and Eugene are both like, what are we doing?
You don't,
know?
you don't really think about having to hold your baby.
Yeah.
And like, what's its name? And he's like, this is Garth.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Like
man.
you get, cause some days you can see something. This is Cindy.
Yeah. There's a baby. You can tell. No baby has Garth face.
Yeah.
You Garth it is crazy. But I will say, I was in OKC, man. Shout out Oklahoma. Shout out to the Thunder. I like Tulsa better though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
There's no way. What
Wait.
are you talking about? Yeah.
I got told Tulsa was where I got told I had nice lips for a white boy.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I like Tulsa, bro.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Tulsa is like every time I go there, it's a fine city, but bro, it's got to be treacherous in some way because if you got a remote job right now, you go to Tulsa, they give you $10,000.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know
They'll
that.
give you $10,000 to move to Tulsa right now. But look though, you know they didn't start at 10,000.
Yeah.
It started at like $1,000.
Yeah.
And nobody was
and
taking
everyone
it.
was like, move to Tulsa for what?
For 1,500?
And they made their way to 10,000, bro.
And then they settled at
When
10,000.
Tulsa was real bad. It's they filmed the first 48 there.
Yeah.
Really?
Tulsa's a
It's got
very
bad
common
energy.
first 48 episode location.
We were there, and a
Really?
white dude told me I was talking out of the side of my neck, and he was gonna slit my throat when I was on stage.
Yeah, that was cool.
Really?
Yeah, because he was
crazy.
sitting with his legs on the stage watching a fucking
He
a
for
Thunder
real
game.
was front and center, and he went up after the host. He did 20 minutes. There's another guy who did 20 minutes, and then I went on. So I was up 40 minutes after this interaction, he was still in the front row watching a game on his phone.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. It was disrespectful.
That's crazy.
You did also tell him that he looked like he would say the N-word.
Well, he was a white dude with your haircut.
He did have the vibe. He had the Chet Hanks vibe.
Yeah,
I was
he had the
talking
Chet
about.
Boomba Cloud man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, that I feel like when I was in Tulsa, I was having a good time, but I could tell that there was a underbelly.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, there
That I
is.
couldn't process in that my short amount of time. 'Cause I'm like, why they giving out all this money to live there?
I think there's like a big meth problem there too, if I'm not
that's
mistaken.
just kind of Oklahoma in
Okay.
general.
But
yeah.
it seemed like it was rich in culture and stuff, bro. I tried to
They
go
do.
to the what's it called,
I know exactly.
the Grand Right, the Black Wall
Black
Street.
Wall Street, yeah.
But when I went, it was
Oh,
closed.
yeah, yeah.
It was closed. I tried to go to the thing.
Really?
The
we
museum was
went.
closed.
I went last time I was in Tulsa. I was with Cam Patterson.
Yeah.
And 5 other black guys, and then me on Black Wall Street, and it was. I mean, the amount of white guilt that they put on me. I was like, I wasn't here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I
Yeah.
did grow up in Oklahoma, but I wasn't here. But it was nice. It was good. That's probably the best way to experience that.
What is Black Wall Street?
Black Wall?
It was a financial district that was built by black folks, and then the Tulsa massacre when they killed a bunch of black people in
Yeah,
the area.
they burnt down.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it's pretty dark.
It's pretty horrible.
1921. Yeah, see that's them burn. They burnt down
I don't like
the
that.
entire town, like every area that black people were in. They I think they fucking napalmed it. Like it was.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
bad.
It's really bad.
It was a brutal attack, and now they've rebuilt, and they have a lot of black-owned businesses there and stuff. We had fried catfish there for the 3rd day in a row.
I think we can take that off the screen, man. We can get this off the screen. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm sorry. I ain't mean
Honestly,
to-
for me and Josh, maybe take it down. Just because we, have it the screenshot of that on the screen, black guest, 2 white guys, just me pointing at the screen. Like, was this even that?
that was ruining my fun vibe, man. That was a very horrible thing to happen. Man.
It was an awful thing that happened. Yeah.
And,
But Tulsa is okay. I'm
That was a pun.
I prefer OKC,
okay.
but
That was
we
very-
did go to the strip club while we were
I'll clip
there,
that one.
and that was fun.
It was
and
fun.
I'm not a strip club guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a strip club
Oh, is that
guy.
when Jolly was making strippers do push-ups?
You know David Jolly?
Yeah, I
So
met once,
Jolly
yeah.
Jolly was making strippers do push-ups for tips.
Which is
We were having a good time.
Really? Was they doing them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
you know what's funny? He was telling me about this on a podcast, and it got clipped out, and then somebody was commenting, and they're like, "That's almost more demoralizing and dehumanizing than making him strip for money. Is making him do push-ups." And then Jolly replied back, he said, "Bitch, that's boot camp."
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I was like, "That is great, so funny."
I like a guy who knows what he wants. Like, he
Yeah,
doesn't
make him do
care.
push. I'm not a big fan. Strip clubs make my tummy hurt every
Yeah.
time. I've only been to a couple, but they always make me feel not good in my tummy.
I ain't gonna lie, I only been I've been twice. One time I was in college and it was weird. The lady was talking to us and she was like building rapport like a person trying to sell you insurance.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Like she was like, "Where you from?" I'm like, and then the second time I was at it was a after party for a wedding.
An after party for
Kind
not
of-
a not a before,
kind of
not a
crazy.
bachelor
Was
party.
and the groom wasn't.
The groom and the bride went together.
Wow.
Did she work there?
That's a pretty cool
No.
marriage.
It wasn't like they were celebrating.
No, they
Sorry.
were
At
just
the
on some just
environment?
they were just having fun. And bro, it was crazy because they'll come up trying to build their rapport, and I was trying to be like, "Hey, I'm poor."
yeah,
Yeah.
you bark
Like,
up
I
the
don't
wrong
have-
tree.
That's the position I'm always in.
But it was weird because every time they'll start talking, and then I'm like, "Oh, I don't have any money." They would be like upset, and I'm like, "No, I'm trying to save your time."
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's somebody else in here who got the money
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
It's just not me.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm looking out for. I'm looking out for
I'm
you.
window shop.
I'm a
Yeah,
feminist.
yeah.
I'm window shop. I'm not gonna make the purchase.
Yeah.
I'm always in a strip club because other people I was with were like, we're going to the strip club.
Yeah.
It was the option of either go home to the Airbnb by myself or go to the strip club with all these people.
Or go watch Jolly be a drill instructor.
Yeah, and it was
Making
fun.
him
It
do
was a
push-ups.
good time. And Cam gave everybody money. That was nice.
That's
It's nice
hard.
having a rich
That's
friend every once in a while. It's pretty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he gave me $100 in ones. I left with 88.
I would have did the same thing.
I gave a girl $12 who I talked to for 3 hours.
Bread.
Anyway, you earned this.
And she was like, no, you're different. And I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, that's the issue.
I'm
That's how
not.
they
Here's
get me.
$12.
I went to one in Lincoln, Nebraska when I first started comedy. Me and my friend Aloe Mean. Do you know Aloe? Oh, he's a Des Moines guy. He's a big black dude, and he's like he opens for Dante sometimes. But he and I went to the strip club in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I thought I was like 24. I thought I was like really like spitting game to this girl.
Yeah, dude.
3 hours. I was like, I think she actually likes me. And then I gave her $100, and then she followed me on Instagram, and I told Aloe, I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's coming back with me. And then the second we left at the strip club, I got blocked, and I was out $100.
That's
what they do.
It's amazing that she followed you on Instagram and then blocked you.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, they all know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I never. It's not. I'm never.
She told me I had pretty eyes. It's fucked up.
Yeah, you do.
I'm
have
never
pretty
caught
eyes.
up by the
Stop.
rules, bro. The rules ain't gonna get me, bro. I don't think I'm ever gonna be like, dang, this fine girl like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, bro, this ain't middle school, bro. They got me with that when I was, I was the kid where like the cheerleader would be like, so my friend like you, and then the friend would be like, oh no, I don't. You know what I'm saying?
You've been prepared for this
Yeah,
your whole
like,
life.
I'm like, you're not tricking me, man. You hate me.
Yeah.
You want some of my money. And I don't have any. But I will say this. I do enjoy hearing your comedy conversations because it's like, we was in Lincoln, Nebraska.
We were on the road.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
But I rock with Lincoln. I was Zumar.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Brad.
Yeah, dude,
But that was his name, right, Brad?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also think, dude.
Wait, I got his name right?
I think it's Brad. I think it is too. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's Brad.
That was a good dude, bro.
Dude, well,
That dude was
there's
cool.
so
I
many-
rock with that dude.
There's so many dudes that are just like in the sticks that come out and do comedy like once a month, twice a month, and they're like genuinely funny, but they just don't do it enough because it's like they work at FedEx as a driver, and then they'll go up when when they don't have custody of their kid every other weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like that's who does it.
I rock with Nebraska, bro. They got that fast food restaurant with the sandwiches with the meat inside the sandwich.
Arby's?
No, it's specifically in
Is
Nebraska.
it Bebop's?
It's green.
It's a Nebraska specific fast food sandwich place.
It's a Nebraska specific fast food restaurant.
Wow. Okay.
Nebraska fast food. Now I'm trying to think.
It's green. It's a green place.
Nebraska fast food.
Nebraska
Runza.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Runza. Yep. This
Go to
it
the
right
images.
I've never been there.
I see
Yes.
what you're saying. They got the meat inside this. It's a roll.
there. Yeah, whatever
It's a
that is.
roll.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a corn dog with beef.
This is white people culture pretty hard right
and
now.
this is I only seen it in Nebraska.
I think it is.
With
I
a
mean,
drive through. It got drive through and everything.
wow. Yeah,
Look at
that's
this guy has this
amazing.
original Runza sandwich, dude.
I love that.
That's the content we need to be promoting on this podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, but Brad was a good dude. I feel like I glossed over that. That dude was a very good dude. He gave me some spots over there in Lincoln, Nebraska. Zubar was the only place I knew in Nebraska to do stand up, and he ran that for a while. Very good guy. I don't.
Yeah, you know who's I'm trying to think who else I know out in Nebraska. There's one dude who puts a special out every like 3 months. And boy are they not worth
I
watching.
know this cat named Zach.
I love those.
Zach.
I don't know if he's still
What's he
around.
look like?
White dude, glasses, black hair.
I don't know if I
I don't
know.
know if he's still around.
I used to go up to my move because I was in Northeast Iowa, so I would always
Is
be going
Nebraska close to Iowa?
Yeah, it's to the west.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Close to
I used to go up
Des
to
Moines.
Minneapolis a lot. That was where I was.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, because I used
now
to.
we getting into a scene.
That's where
Yeah,
I would.
now-
Yeah, that's where
yeah.
I would go to like Acme, the
Yeah,
comedy club
Acme.
for the mics and stuff. I would go up there, and what else was up there? Goonies. If you know
There's a bunch
Goonies,
of stuff.
Rochester.
CCU.
Yes,
CCU,
yep.
Sisyphus.
Yeah, there's a lot of play. That's
Yeah.
like Minneapolis isn't a bad place.
Minneapolis is one of the most underrated comedy scenes.
And the
to me.
good thing about that place too is that there's not. You don't see it's metropolitan, but you don't see a lot of homeless, so you don't have to deal with a lot of stuff because the winters are so brutal out there that you go. It's not
ain't
scary
gonna
here.
lie.
It's scary walking from spot to spot.
I rode the train from Chicago. I rode the Amtrak from Chicago to St. Paul. I said this before too, but we was out there, and when we got there, it was a dude with no back of the head.
Elaborate.
No back of the head, like
Just it was.
gone out of here.
Like flat skull.
It was just all pink back here, no back of the head. And then the police came and they was like, bro, you just can't be around here with like without 100% head. Like, That junk against some law. And he like, nah, let me rest. He kept trying to wake me up. I'm like, man, I'm sleepy, man. But everybody around the area is like, nah, he be walking around here with no back of the head. He was guilty.
Yeah.
He ain't have it.
If the law is 100% head, he was guilty for sure.
He ain't had that back of the head on him, man.
Now, do they know what caused the lack of head?
They end up putting him in an ambulance because they was like, I guess it was either jail or ambulance. So they ambulance. Yeah.
You got to get that out of here.
But you can't.
We got
be
folks
chilling.
walking around. You can't.
The chilling, they wasn't going for it.
Yeah. You can't be exposed brain walking around.
So in LA, are the homeless people bad there?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like Atlanta got a lot of homeless people, so I wasn't like surprised. But I will say, I feel like LA homeless people are more insane.
Yeah.
Like I feel like even like a schizophrenic Atlanta homeless dude, he talking to himself, but he not trying to like.
He's not a zombie.
Well, I feel like LA, you'll run into a cat chasing somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Atlanta homeless people don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, because like here, everybody talks about the homeless here, and they'll be schizophrenic or whatever. But if you're walking down the street, they'll move out of the way. They're talking to somebody who's not there. They're popping bubbles that aren't there, but they will move out of your way. Yeah. Whereas like the LA,
dude, I was in LA during COVID, and I was going from LA to San Diego on the train that they have. It's like their Bright Line. And I was on the train, and it was back when everybody had to be masked up. A homeless guy comes on, white dude, sits right next to me. He doesn't have a mask on. Everybody else has masks. He has a bag, like a grocery bag, over his face that they were like, I guess that's good.
Yeah.
He sits next to me, and he starts like and then he starts getting closer to me, and I had to tell him there's like open seats everywhere. I was like, hey man, can you like move? I don't like feel comfortable. Like there's like a lot of open seats. You could probably go somewhere else. And then he stands up and he goes, you racist piece of shit. This guy's a fucking racist. And then everybody starts looking at me like the guy with the fucking HEB mask on his face is saying something. And then everybody's like giving me bad looks. He gets up, moves, and sits right next to the person right behind me who's like a lady who's sitting there. And then she goes, you can't sit here. And then he's like, you fucking racist piece of shit. And you know how crazy being called a white guy, like a white guy getting called racist. Then when he started saying that to her, I was like, she must be racist. She must be racist. Yeah. He's fucking. That's how crazy
I'm
getting
not
called.
Racist, but he's
that's how powerful the label is.
And you're in LA too, so everybody's like, is he racist?
That guy must be racist.
Yeah,
he sits, but that's like what level of fucked up those dudes are. He sits next to me and just starts making like goblin noise. He's like whispering to me in like tongues.
Bro, they be. You don't want to get most of it's being unwell. I ain't gonna lie. Another thing about LA homeless people, that's a crazy stuff. But another thing about LA homeless people I noticed is that they go set something on fire, bro. Bro, it's so much.
They don't even need to keep warm out
pyros.
there. Yeah, just for the love of the game.
They always burning something.
Yeah,
bro. We do a show that's downtown. It's like 2 blocks from Skid Row, and bro. Every week they say, "Oh yeah, that dude tried to set the building on fire again." He just be doing that. And then we ran out of Skid Row one time. I'm not making this up. I was a trash can, and by the way, it's not cold enough in LA to have the trash can full of fire.
Yeah.
No, that's out of love of the game.
That's blanket. It's blanket level cold there. Mm-hmm. Trash can. That's like winter.
You're by a train station, bro.
We driving by. Why I see a firework pop up out of it?
A firework came out.
It's a flame, and then I see a little, not a huge one, not a big one, but enough for you to be like, that shouldn't be. It had to be like a bottle rocket or something.
Yeah, you identified it as a firework.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. How did they get a firework too? I can't even afford fireworks.
How? Why?
Yeah,
it's so many questions. I don't know.
Well, that's might be his thing.
Yeah.
His schizophrenia is like, I got to collect fire. I got to collect the explosives.
I would love a clue into what those guys are seeing every once in a while.
Yeah, I've always thought that.
Perspective.
Okay, that's fine. If I find it, I'll send it to y'all. I saw a video of an artist. He painted. You see that video?
I know what you're talking about, but I might not have seen this one, but I've seen people who have, they try to like conceptualize what schizophrenic people are seeing.
He put like a little video together of what he's seeing, and it was the worst. It truly feel. It was like multiple whispers, and then it was like it wasn't they saw a person, but it was like an outline of a being just moving around in their line
like
of
a figure,
sight.
yeah.
And it was like, bro, this got. I ain't gonna lie. I would take whatever medication they had for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it fixes it or not, but I was like, hey, bruh, this don't look like a great quality of life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
to be refusing the medications, wild.
And you have to be outside.
My uncle had schizophrenia. I had an uncle who had schizophrenia. He's dead now, but growing up, he would, the biggest thing, one of my memories, he died when I was like 5 or 6, but one of the earliest memories I have is him talking to a painting, and like we had to he was like making us rearrange the paintings in our house because the paintings were sad. He was like, he doesn't like being over here. He needs to go over there. And it was a picture of a boat.
Really?
And so he's like, he can't be on this wall. It's like, it's not good for him.
He doesn't like it.
He doesn't like the wall.
Now, did your family move the painting?
Of course.
Yeah.
And then they left, and then they went, it looks like fucking shit here. And they moved it back.
put it back,
The fuck's that? Let the painting be. They're also my neighbor, or my house was like old as hell.
Yeah.
So we grew up in, middle of nowhere, Iowa, and our house was built in like the 1800s. So my mom, growing up, they were just telling us that the house was haunted all the time. It was like a thing and when you're like 5 or 6 and you have like a 35-year-old, 40-year-old parents reacting to like creaks in the house, you are convinced the house is haunted. And it's just like an old I have like memories of being terrified to go in my basement because my mom would go down there and she would do this thing where she would think that like a ghost was down in the basement. So she would hear unironically, like she would think that like the light, we had like a bad electrical circuit, but she would think the light would flicker because there was a ghost down there. So my mom would go down there and yell at the ghosts, being like, you need to knock it off. I have to go down there and do laundry. And then I would be like,
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ.
Literally, she would do like blessings on our house. We'd have priests and stuff come through the house.
Wow. Like a real
priest would come through with
really,
like sage
all
and
you
like
needed
blessing.
was an electrician.
And we needed an electrician. And then my schizophrenic uncle would come over and be like, that painting. I lived in like a haunted house.
Right, that's crazy.
Like my house, my upbringing is like, it's crazy I don't have psychosis.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
close.
I'm close,
You've
but
been
the
close.
environment that I grew up in was like my mom yelling at the ghosts, my uncle being like, paintings are sad here.
Yeah.
And then just watching like
And your dad just being drunk.
and then my dad just being an alcoholic, buying. My dad won $1,000 on the lottery. Like on the lottery, he got like a bunch of scratch tickets. He won $1,000, and then he just bought 2 AK-47s. It's just like, dude, like I'm still paying off college. It's like you're gonna get 2 AK-47s.
The American dream.
So wait, I'm interested in this. So how many times did the priest come through? Was it like a yearly thing?
No, I remember like 2 or 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
So when it got bad.
When it got bad. Yeah.
So your mom was like, yo, they are having too much fun in here.
Yeah, she's like, she would be like, you know what she used to say?
Like what she actually said.
Yeah, she would tell him. So she would be like, she would always yell like, keep it down. Like she would like look up to the staircase and go, keep it down up there. I'm trying to. My mom was in college at the time. She's like, I'm trying to study. Keep it down, because she could like hear. We could like genuinely. The house is weird. You can hear like footsteps throughout the house.
Yeah.
Like pitter patter of feet all the time. Yeah. And
it might have been mice.
Well, what's
yeah.
It could have been mice, bro.
It is so funny to picture when you're an adult man and you realize what this notion is. It's all power of suggestion, because when you're 7 and you hear there's ghosts and you hear fucking things in the wall, you go, that's a ghost.
Yeah.
You're an adult man. You go, yeah, we had an infestation.
Yeah.
But we had
raccoons.
She also, so the house, this is like weird though, because I used to have, this is where it starts to get a little weird. Admittedly, I don't know, there's something to this, I think, too. So growing up, I used to have an imaginary friend that I used to call Jacob all the time. I used to talk to a kid named Jacob, and my parents, after all this like weird shit, after having like the priests and everything come through, my parents looked into the house and they found records. And in the early 1900s, my house, the upstairs burned down, and there was a victim of the burning, and it was a kid named Jacob. So there is like weird energy that's there. So like, not for nothing, that is crazy. Like. Not for nothing. There is something going on.
That's crazy, and there's no rational explanation.
Yeah, it's like one of those like spooky ghost stories I can tell.
And you just chose Jacob out of nowhere.
I was like 4 years old. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know left from right, and I was talking to a kid named Jacob. They have like baby monitor. They have like photos of like my mom has like photos of me like playing with the imaginary friend. On the back it says like Josh and Jacob 2002, you know what I mean? Like with it, she like signed, she put Jacob in quotation, you know, being like thinking it's like a funny cute thing that I was doing. And then they found that out, and they were like, "Oh, that's fucking nuts."
No, that's crazy. That's
Do you know
crazy.
what? I have another story. So now I'm all in this paranormal
Go for
thing.
it. Yeah.
I have when I started comedy too, I was in so this is like a funny okay. My boy was trying to fuck this lady who is like a weird alty like emo girl, right? And this is in Cedar Falls, Iowa. We drive to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, when he brings this girl with him that he's trying to hook up with, and she brings her friend. So it's me and 2 comics, and then these 2 girls. And we start in the it's like Halloween, and so we're driving and we're just telling like, oh, well, like a spooky story shit. Well, this one girl says she has a demon that is like haunting her, right? And then she was like, I can't say his name, otherwise bad things happen. And so us being comics, we're like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So we start getting, she types the name out, and I don't remember what it was. It was something like, I don't even know. It was like Vanderloss or something like that, whatever. And so we just start cracking jokes about it, whatever. We go do the shows, and on the car ride back, she gets a phone call from a hospital, and her boyfriend is she's her boyfriend's emergency contact. He, at the time of the shows when we were making fun of him, whatever, his house gets broken into, he gets shot and dies. But he's a drug dealer, and he got robbed. But white women are so stupid that she was like,
I don't know, though.
It's because of you said the demon's name.
Wow.
She was convinced, but he was a drug dealer.
She did tell you guys not to say it. You said it, and then her boyfriend got shot.
But it's also correlation doesn't equal causation.
All right.
But it is one of those things where she was like,
Nah, I'm on your side a little bit, bro, because like I do think the Jacob thing kind of made me believe, bro.
a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird.
That doesn't.
It's a little weird.
That is a weird coincidence, you know.
But the other one is, I think, just like, yeah, your boyfriend's a drug dealer. Like, he's gonna get. It's not crazy for a drug dealer to get robbed and shot.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately true, yes.
Yeah.
But we just happen to be making fun of him at the same
spooky.
time.
I have no spooky stories.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot.
I like spooky stories.
Yeah, bro.
I lived the same thing in an old house, creaky floors and all that. I would get spooked out by the basement, but we never any paranormal stuff.
Yeah,
there was a raccoon in our attic one time, and that scared me. But then we found out it was a raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you hear footsteps in the attic. You go, oh fuck, and then it was just the smell.
I like
and you go,
spooky.
oh fuck, and then you find out it was a raccoon. That
Did you
died.
grow up in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Atlanta. Yeah, born and raised.
Where? Okay, so I know nothing of Atlanta.
Atlanta's great, bro.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's great comedy scene. It's a great city, bro. Like I'm biased. I mean, cause that's all I know. But
Yeah.
I love Atlanta, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff. Wings.
Yeah.
Music. Big music.
A lot of the music that I grew up liking was Atlanta.
Yeah, I know Migos is from
There we
Atlanta.
go.
I know, I like
There we
it.
go.
I like. Okay, let me
Come on,
let
let's
me
hear
name
some- let's hear
Atlanta.
some. Yeah.
I know Ti.
okay.
Tip.
Yeah.
I know Migos. I know Tip. I know. There's more that I know. Isn't Schoolboy?
No.
No. Block
Q's
Boy.
LA.
Block Boy.
Block Boy. You're gonna bring up Block Boy JB right
Isn't
now?
he from Atlanta?
No, he from Memphis, but man, what a deep cut rapper to pull out. I ain't gonna lie. What made you go with Block Boy JB?
I thought he was from
I haven't heard
Atlanta.
a Block Boy JB song in years.
Because he hasn't had one. He had the one.
He had that little run, yeah. He had the run.
That's so
He had the song with
funny.
Drake.
I thought he was from Memphis. I thought he was from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I knew 21 Savage,
21 Savage
but he's
from
from the
Atlanta.
UK, but now Atlanta.
Yeah, he was raised in Atlanta.
Yeah. It is fun
That's
to.
funny. Yeah.
Block Boy JB is crazy.
yeah. I was gonna name some of my rappers, but once you said Block Boy JB, I was like, I'm not gonna risk embarrassing myself like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna risk it.
Yeah.
I loved all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's crazy.
Who else is from?
Do you know Young Scooter?
Yeah, he died.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've mentioned it 100 times since it happened. I'm a huge Young Scooter fan. None of my white friends that I have now
For real?
have any clue who he was. So
Columbia is the best. Is one of the best. It's one of the best worst songs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of like rapping ability and the beat being one loop.
Yep.
It's such a something about it is so good.
But that's what I love
Yeah,
about that
yeah,
music
yeah,
is
yeah.
it's like every song is the same. It's the same lyrical content.
yeah.
The beats are a loop from beginning to end.
Yeah.
There's almost no, like, if you listen to somebody like Kendrick or like Tyler, the Creator, it's like all these creative, like,
Yeah.
samples and whatever. It's like, no, I want a trap beat and I want drugs and and bitches shaking ass. That's what I want.
If you listen to Columbia, bro, he rhymed in it maybe 3 times. I can make cocaine. I just fell in love with a Cuban.
Which
That's a slant rhyme. That's a slant rhyme.
It's a slant
That's
rhyme.
a slant rhyme.
It's a
That's an AB.
stretch.
That's an AB rhyme structure.
Cocaine Cuban.
But it's if you say it like that.
Yeah, you're talking
No,
to
but
a
I'm
literature
saying,
major.
but I'm saying like it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great music, but it is also
That's
like
so
this
funny.
is-
Dude,
this
you know
this
who-
is art.
You know who
Yeah.
I've been listening to is 1900 Rugrat. You ever heard him?
I've heard of this dude, but I think I'm past the age.
It's- I mean, I should be.
It's white guy. It's a
From Florida,
it's like
from
TikTok. It's
West
like,
Palm.
Yeah, it's like TikTok rap
Yeah.
kind of.
Cracking got an AR like I'm shooting Scooza.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like that
I don't know
line.
who that is. I don't know who
Yeah.
that is. I'm be honest with you, man. I don't know. I think you need to like start over in your rap music. You going too deep cut, boy. Start with Biggie.
Yeah. Let's get you into the classics
Let's get
before
me into
you
the
keep bringing up
Block
Block Boy
Boy
JB.
JB.
That was crazy.
Block Boy JB, you went deep into the folder for that one, and I just feel like we could be a little bit more broad. For sure.
It is funny because it was like I feel like it was like a reach to be specific, and then he wasn't even from Atlanta.
Yeah,
like it was
yeah,
just
No,
kind of
I
like-
thought I knew he was from
One of those places.
It was either Memphis or Atlanta. It wasn't. I knew it wasn't. Yeah.
Listen, man. Shout out to the Marines, man. That's how I thought that story on the train was gonna end. I thought you was gonna tell him to get up, and he said no one more time. You said, "Oh yeah."
Hooah.
So they, you know, karate.
That's what they teach in the Marines.
I actually don't really know.
So it's
No,
all,
they
it's
don't-
all-
they don't-
It's all gun work.
It's all gun work. That's a good way to put it. Gun work.
yeah.
I like that. Might be the name of the episode.
Gun work, baby.
Gun work is crazy.
all
Fucking.
gun work.
Did
So,
you ever think about joining?
Nah,
Nah.
I couldn't. No.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I'm
run
the
through-
same way.
I'm not gonna run through no tires. Man. I ain't running through no tires. Every time I go up another level, it's gonna be steps, not no rope.
The
no,
tire.
yeah,
I'm not gonna
no-
run. I'm not gonna run through a tire. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'm cool on the tires. Man.
Yeah.
I only need tires on the V.
That's so funny. Fuck, that's
right.
good. Well, I tell you what. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I think
man.
that's
Thank you
time,
for
man.
having
Thank
me,
you.
man.
This
Thanks
is
for
so
coming, bro.
fun.
Appreciate y'all.
That was a good time.
Hey, cut out that part I wanted. Cause I can't remember what it was, but I remember the part.
Do you want me to cut it out for real?
The industry
Yeah, cut out the
rant.
I'll
industry.
cut it out.
Yeah,
I'll cut it out. I
yeah,
got you.
I was going a little too crazy.
No, you're. Yeah,
Thanks for
I'll cut
coming,
it out.
bro.
But
Yeah.
I agree with what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
We appreciate you coming. Everybody, follow Mandal. What's your Instagram?
The Mandal Man on everything.
Very funny.
Do you have anything else? You got shows or anything?
Nothing to promote right now.
Perfect.
That's good.
No worries.
It probably wasn't going to move the needle.
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
but
You might get
you
3 or 4 tickets from
fake
this
it till you make it. You know
Hey
what I
man,
mean?
hey man, I'm happy to be here, man. Let's keep going Iowa with it, going Oklahoma with it.
That's
Damn
what it
right.
is. Thank
All
you guys
right.
so much for checking out the Friendly Fire podcast. Bye bye.